So there are a lot of products coming out in the next few weeks, and not everything is a shop. So here's my shopper drop of everything that's coming out. On the day that I'm recording this, YSL is announcing that they're coming out with their new Make Me Blush cream blush. And this is difficult for me because if you know me, you know I love this formula. This is like one of my favorite blush formulas of all time. But if you also know me, you know that I'm not the biggest fan of cream blushes. And that most of the cream blushes that I buy out of peer pressure. So, with that being said, this is not easy because I want to shop it, but I also want to shop every blush that comes out, and I want to shop it because it's from YSL and it's from the same line that brought us this amazing formulation, but it's a cream blush. And most of the cream blushes that I get end up not used in the back of my collection. So I'm trying to be realistic. I want to try and be more controlled and actually try stuff that I think I'm gonna like. So this is gonna be a drop for me. Next up, Makeup by Mario is launching new cream eyeshadows. And this is something that I'm a bit more interested in. In the last couple of weeks, I've decided that I want to try more cream or stick or kind of a different sort of eyeshadow, not just powder and palettes. And when he launched the matte ones, I was super interested and I ended up not getting any. So this might be a good excuse to try both the matte and this new shimmer formulation. This shimmer formulation is probably gonna be a shop for me. Prada is also launching new cream blushes. I'm gonna drop this. It's also a cream blush, even though I tried it the previous like shades in store and I felt like it was a super interesting formula and I considered buying it, but once again it is a cream formulation, even though it's a very interesting cream formulation that I feel like upon swatching turns into a powder like really weirdly on your finger. It's very interesting, but I'm not interested in these colors at all. I don't feel like purple or lavender or lilac is something that I'm going to be reaching for, so this is a drop for me. Westman Atelier is launching a new foundation, and believe it or not, Westman Atelier, it's a relatively new brand in my country, so I haven't tried anything from Westman Atelier, and I feel like this foundation might be the first thing that I want to try. This is a brand that does product very well. It's just something that, even though it's expensive, works really nicely, but it's going to be 70 bucks. It's a very high priced foundation. I'm okay with paying that sort of price for good product, so this might be a shop for me once it comes out. Something that's calling my name is the new Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Loose Powder. I love her pressed powder, and if this is anything like that, I'm going to be super obsessed with this powder, so really looking forward to this. As soon as I can, I'm getting my hands on this one. This is a different thing for me, but I love Vaseline's Cocoa collection, and they're launching a vanilla collection, and I really want to try it because I love vanilla. I also feel like their scents, like their body care collection, really lingers. I feel like the smell really lingers, at least on me it does. So I'm really looking forward to trying their moisturizer and their oil in vanilla. I'm seeing a lot of like ice cream and like ice cream cones in their promotion. I'm hoping it's a true vanilla and not like a sweet vanilla, if you know what I mean. Well, One Size is launching a color corrector stain. I want to try it in store, like swatch it and try to understand what he means with stain, with it being a color corrector. But since I'm not that into color correction, I'm trying to get into it, but it's just not something that's part of my routine right now. This is a drop for me, even though I feel like this is pretty innovative. I really want to like understand the formulation, because how can something like this be a stain, something that my brain is not computing? So it is a drop just because I don't feel like it's gonna add much to my routine, because it's just not part of my routine. So Urban Decay is back into setting sprays with their all-nighter ghosting spray, like spray-on setting powder. I don't know, you guys. It's one of those products that it's neither here or there for me. I feel like it's gonna be a little bit of a mess, because when I think about setting powder in a can or in a spray, I think about the Huda Beauty one that I tried in store and left me splotchy all over, like white dots all over my face. Maybe Urban Decay is gonna prove us wrong. They do have 3 shades, so light, medium, and deep. Also, limited shade range. I don't know, it's not calling my name. I will want to like test it out in store and see what I think. This might be something that I actually end up loving, but at first sight, drop. So Rare Beauty keeps dipping their toes into perfumes. I do not own our previous perfume, even though I've tried it in store. I think it smells nice. It's just not something that I'm looking for to get. I do want to try this one in store because I feel like a pear note. It's kind of my vibe. It's fruity. So if it's not too sweet, I might try it and get a travel size. We'll see. I'm a little bit more interested about this one than I was the previous one. So a cautious shop. Something that is probably going to be a shop and I'm super excited is Fleur is coming out with another vanilla scent. It's Vanilla Canyon and sounds like a musky, woody vanilla. And those are one of my favorite sorts of vanilla. So the notes sound right up my alley. It's velvet plum, tonka bean, jasmine pearls, wild honey, Madagascar vanilla, patchouli, and oak wood. The only thing that's kind of worrying me is the patchouli. I tend to not love a patchouli note, but since it is like one of the base notes, maybe I don't feel it as much. I really want to smell it in store once it comes, and this is probably gonna be a shop. I'm just taking it lightly because of the patchouli. And honey sometimes can get kind of stinky. I love their honey dew perfume because that honey doesn't pull like stinky, but honey sometimes can have that effect. So I feel like it's gonna be a shop. Just want to smell it in store because I feel like nobody should be buying perfumes blindly. Something else from Urban Decay, All Nighter Ghost Powder. Why do you only have 5 shades? Not super excited about it. Not looking for a new powder, so drop. Summer Fridays is finally dipping their toes into body care. I feel like that makes sense for their brand. I feel like Summer Fridays would end up eventually in this category. They just launched a perfume, so body care is the next logical step. And they have 3 scents. It's pink guava, pistachio milk, and vanilla. Even though pistachio is a super like in note, I don't love pistachio stuff all that much, like pistachio smelling stuff. So the one that's calling my name the most is vanilla, obviously, even though I also really love fruity notes. Guava is just not one of them because it also has strawberry, and strawberry is also not one of my favorite notes. So I'm pulling towards the vanilla, which is vanilla cake, tonka bean, and fluffy musk. And I'm hoping the tonka bean and the fluffy musk like subdues the vanilla cake, because cake sounds sweet. So we'll see. If I do like the smell, I might try like the body moisturizer maybe. So MAC is launching their Glow Play Bouncing Highlighters, and I've been hoping to try their blush, their Bouncy blush, for a long time, so maybe this is the cue that I needed to pick up a blush and a highlighter. But one thing that's kind of worrisome about these highlighters for me is the shades. Because when I look at the picture that they posted of their new highlighters, I don't see a shade that's gonna work for me or that I'm gonna like in my skin tone. So I need to go into a MAC store and swatch some and we'll see, because I do want to try them. So in that regard, it's a shop. But if I don't find a shade that I like, I'm gonna drop it. Another like cream eyeshadow is from NARS, like liquid eyeshadow. These ones are not actually calling my name. I don't know. I feel like fun makeup and NARS don't go hand in hand. And don't get me wrong, I love NARS. I love NARS concealers, NARS foundations, NARS's bronzers and blushes. Love their staples. But once you move into eyeshadows and like fun makeup, I feel like it's not their strongest suit. Liquid shimmer eyeshadows, I don't know, I might be super wrong and I might swatch them in store and fall completely over heels with them. But from the pictures, they're not really calling my name and I don't feel like they're that sparkly. Also from Urban Decay, their Lip Toy Staining Brush Lip Liner. I don't like stains. I've come to the conclusion that I don't like lip stains. I feel like they don't perform or do what I want them to do. They also end up looking really similar on the lips once you swatch them. Drop for me, not interested. I've come to the conclusion that I just don't reach for stains. I think this is the first like straight up drop from Natasha Denona in a long time. The mini Bloom palette. It's not calling my name. I'm sorry. I feel like it's not really Bloom in a way. Like, why is it called Bloom? This is a rose palette. It looks a lot like the actual mini rose palette. It's not calling my name. I don't feel like it's worth me getting it. I don't feel like it's gonna add anything into my collection. So if you have a smaller collection than me, maybe it could be a good shop because I feel like it's a pretty palette. I don't feel like this adds anything to her collection or would add anything to my collection, so drop. The new Armani blushes, like, I have a thing. If you didn't read the name Armani on the front, would you look at the packaging and say, yeah, that's Armani? Because I wouldn't. It's not bad, ugly packaging. It's just not what I would expect out of a luxury brand like Armani. Again, cream, blush, I am trying to resist buying cream blushes, so I'm going to try for this one to be a drop for me as well. The new Too Faced Peach collection, it's just a drop for me overall, which is very sad because when the original Peach palette came out, I still own it. I have a backup of this palette so that you truly understand how much I love it. This shade is gone, this shade is Hidden Pen, everything else is pretty used up. I loved this palette. I just don't feel like this palette is reflected on the new palette or in the new collection. The only thing that I feel like it's remotely interesting is the setting powder, the loose setting powder, because of the packaging. I've seen a video from people like trying to get all the powder out of the packaging without having to like deconstruct it, and you're not able. So it's an innovative packaging. I'm just not being called towards this collection, so it's a drop for me. The new Morphe blushes are 100% a shop for me. I love the finishing powder, so I feel like I'm gonna love the blush, and I really want the brown blush. So as soon as I find it, I'm getting it. Last two products that I want to talk about. The first one is the Rare Beauty new lipstick oils. Already a buy. I've been loving this one. I feel like this is a good formulation. Still testing it out, so take it with a grain of salt, but already a shop. And the other one was the Huda Beauty matte like new lipsticks. It's in my bag currently, so also a shop, and still not my final review, but I've been loving it. It's just doing a weird funky thing in the inside of my mouth. I'm trying to understand what that's about, but other than that, also a shop, and I've been actually enjoying it. No, actually last thing, the one size new bronzer setting thing. God, do I want to try it. I feel like I'm going to regret getting it because I have a thing with that sort of product. It is colored. So I'm applying it, it's going into my hair, it's going into my clothes, or at least in my brain, it's going into my hair and my clothes, and I don't want that in my clothes or my hair. It's kind of a conflicting product. I really want to try it, but I'm worried about that, so I probably shop it just to try it. So now that's officially it. I feel like these are all the new products that are out and about to be out that I am either shopping or dropping. I hope you enjoy this video. Please let me know what are you thinking about picking up in the comments down below. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you'll see you in the next one. Please like and subscribe. Bye!